Yeah, we very much need houses. We need developments. We need houses in the Castroy-Anacati area. But there's a certain amount of problems with this, at least not the lack of consultation. There has been very little consultation with councillors or with the residents in the area. It's a very dense development, and their own road safety statement would indicate there's going to be a lot of problems with pedestrian, car and cycle traffic. It's going to be very difficult to navigate it by bike. There's already a lot of issues there with the school, with Gaelscoil, with parking and access into the Gaelscoil. This is going to be, it's going to become more difficult if you've got 300 cars in there. I've numerous difficulties with it. Another thing is the trees in the area. They don't want to retain them. They have a tree survey statement which says these trees are over mature, which I think means they want to get rid of them basically. There's serious deficiencies with the landscaping plan. It's a pity because it's slowing down the development of houses, and that's not something I want to see. I want to see houses built, but unfortunately not like this.
Well, my main concern for this development would be the shared access, because you know, they'll be sharing it with the Gaelscoil and the GAA Munster. You know, the school already is chaotic in the morning, and now they're going to have an extra 200 houses, maybe 300 people using the same access. And to gain access to the development, they have to drive down the Dublin Road, turn on the Anacati roundabout and come back up. I mean, you know, to me that's not feasible. Also, you know, I would like to see safety measures put in place for the school, like a pedestrian crossing, and maybe, you know, people that will purchase those properties could be working in the Classy Technological Park, so also maybe a pedestrian crossing to accommodate those people. I was also very disappointed to see on the map 16 social houses just stuck in a corner. You know, that stuck out to me, and I that's wrong. You know, there was 4 other social houses, 20 in total, 4 spread out, so that definitely needs to be looked at. People in, you know, in the social houses need to be integrated into the area and not stuck in it.
We always welcome housing and strategic housing development, and there is an element of social housing to this, but we did raise concerns about the element of the social housing being in a cluster in a particular corner. We prefer if the social housing was spread strategically throughout the development, so people don't feel isolated and there isn't stigma attached to social housing, because that should never happen. The other point to note is the timing of the submission. We are in the middle of a pandemic, and I do understand the statutory process. However, like the Walker's Lane development, this development is very similar in the fact that the application went up and it went into the newspaper, and we all know that newspapers are suffering at the moment. We should all buy newspapers. We don't. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so I'm not sure if the amount of people that needed to see this development application for submissions have actually seen it, and I think that's very evident here today because there aren't that many submissions. But we will work hard to make sure that our voice is heard and the people of the area are heard as well in relation to traffic management also.
I just don't think that the road access is suitable for the current, this proposed development. That currently with the use of that road is by the Gaelscoil and Castletroy and the Munster Council offices, and at school times it's totally congested, so it's just not adequate for a proposed development of this size. And they'll have to look at finding extra access for this development, you know.
I have major difficulties with the intensity of the development. I think it's overkill, and it's overkill for many reasons. The particular site, to me, does not serve the needs of the community who live there from the point of view of having centralised open space where parents can see their children in play, as is the case in the neighbouring Woodhaven estate, as is the case in Evanwood and other estates. Parents like to be able to see their children play, so I do think there's a big shortage of centralised open space. Secondly, a major concern for parents, which is probably the biggest one: where is my child going to go to school? All the local schools are full. They're not in a position to physically be able to expand, even if they had spaces. And if you go eastwards towards the Castleconn schools, they're also full. So where are those people going to get education facilities for their children? And I felt, while the local authority does not have a direct say in education facilities, I do feel they have a need, they really have a duty to the community to plan for proper education facilities in there. That is a major issue.